My stepmom has it out for my kids. That's right, a grown woman has it out for children. You might be wondering, why would she have it out on them and not me? Well, she hates me too. Let me go ahead and break this story down to you because it is such a wild ride.
I have an issue regarding the arrangements I have for Christmas this year. I usually spend Christmas with my dad's side of the family and go to my mom's for New Year's, where we also exchange gifts. However, due to what happened at Christmas last year, I'm rethinking my plans. Okay, for some backstory. My parents divorced when I was in middle school, due to my dad having an affair. My mom moved 2 hours away and my dad moved in with his mistress, who he later married. It was a rough time for our family and I still have a little baggage concerning it. It was rough being back and forth between two homes, and my dad's mistress clearly did not like having me around. She always seemed annoyed by my mere presence. They also never had a lot of food in the house, so I had to bring my own. I also wasn't allowed to watch TV, play outside, or even leave the living room at all except to go to the bathroom, and I even had to ask to do that. Apparently, she was hiding food in the basement so I could not eat it, and when my mom confronted my dad about it and all the other ridiculous rules, she got mad and told me I need to stop talking about her and dad's marital affairs to my mother. I hated going over there, but because my parents had joint custody, I had to go to dad on the weekends. I should also mention that my dad's side of the family is pretty tight-knit, so I'm close with all my cousins on his side, and sometimes they'd come to my dad's house on the weekend to keep me company, and we're still close even now, and our kids, those of us who have them, go on playdates together. As soon as I turned 18, I decided I didn't want to put up with my stepmom anymore. So I stopped going over to my dad's house, and he got mad at me for icing him out, and I told him that we could hang out whenever, but his wife clearly did not like me, so I didn't want to be in her space anymore. He told me I was being unreasonable for thinking Anna did not like me, which is funny and a clear sign that he never paid attention. I told him no hard feelings and got on with my life. Things were pretty strained between us from now on, and I'd seen him during birthdays and holidays, but only on brief occasions because I just hated being around his wife. She never verbalized her hatred towards me, but I could just feel it in the air. Also, she stayed attached to my dad by the hip. Whenever he wasn't at work or with his family, she was right there with him. Heck, she'd even answer his phone when I called him sometimes, and I guess she was scared that he'd do to her what he did to my mom. Anyways, after I went through university, I got my own job and apartment. Then my mom decided she wanted to move away and gave me my childhood home to do with what I wanted. She lived in the same state, it's just a long drive away. We still see each other as often as we can, though, and my relationship with my father still remains strained, even in my early adult life. I met my now husband, Jay, around that time, and after years of dating, we got engaged and announced it to the family. My dad got up in arms about me not involving him in my life because he didn't even know I was seeing anyone. I ignored him and sent an invitation to the wedding when the time came around, and he had an issue with that too because I did not put a +1 on his invite list for his wife. I told him I did not give him a +1 for her because she was not invited. I didn't want her there, and seriously, who invites people who don't like them to the wedding? He said that I was simply being ridiculous, and I told him I wasn't going to budge on this. He ended up coming to the wedding alone anyways, but I heard from the family that stepmom was extremely upset about not being invited, and even more upset that my dad decided to still go without her. She actually showed up to the reception to pick him up after it was over, and stood there all angry in the parking lot because he refused to leave with her. Afterward, my dad chewed me out for being so cruel to her. I told him if he really felt that way, he should have stayed home with her. Then he starts accusing me of being cruel to his new wife because I was bitter about what happened between him and my mom. I was a kid at the time, and I even barely understood what was happening. Do I absolutely hate what he did to my mom? I'm holding it against him and his wife? No! I never did anything to the lady, never disrespected her, never called her out of her name. All I did was make an observation and draw a conclusion based on the way she treated me. Again, she does not like me, she never has, and she's made it very, very obvious that she does not like me. Multiple cousins have backed up my claims and stories about her. I told him he needed to have an honest conversation with his wife and stop trying to gaslight me or I'd go no contact with him. That seemed to snap some sense into him and he stopped bringing up his wife whenever we spoke. I still kept my dealings with him very limited because Anna was still always following him around like a puppy, and I was sure that she would be even more bitter towards me after not inviting her to my wedding, which is fine. The hate is not mutual, but it definitely can be if that's what she wants. My husband already knows the situation with my family, and he's 100% on my side. I also have my mom in my corner. I try not to talk to my dad about it too much when I'm with her, especially now that I'm not a kid anymore and can decide for myself what kind of relationship I want to have with my dad. It's been 10 years now, and Jay and I have 2 beautiful children. Our oldest is 8, and the youngest just turned 5. I do let them see their grandparents, yeah, all of them. We even spend Thanksgiving with Jay's family, but they live across the country. My kids are only allowed over at my dad's house if one of my cousins and their kids are also there. Under no circumstances are my kids to be left alone with my dad and Anna. I don't know if she's spiteful of a woman. I'm not going to use my kids to find out. So here's what happened during the holidays last year. So, my dad's side of the family has a big Christmas dinner every year at his house. Everybody pitches in. We do Secret Santa amongst the adults, whereas we have a wish list system for the kids. They make a list of things they want and everyone pitches in to buy the gift. Well, last year, Anne took it upon herself to buy the gifts. All the kids got stockings with their names on them, and at the end of the night, when we got home, the kids opened up their stockings and were severely disappointed. My oldest got 3 pairs of socks. I mean, not even socks with cartoon characters on them, just cheap, non-generic white socks, and a generic 300-piece puzzle of the Eiffel Tower. The youngest got a little cheap doll and a hat. It was not at all what they asked for, and there was also a few bits of candy, but everyone got that. My husband and I managed to smooth things over, and when we went to my mom's house, she had much better gifts for them. I thought about confronting Anne about it, but I did not want to deal with her, so I called one of my cousins instead, and I kind of covertly asked her what her kids got in their stockings, and they got exactly what they asked for. So that was my answer. Anne was just as spiteful as I thought. It's really super low of her to take out whatever issue she has with me on my children. They're children, for Christ's sake. Now, I'm thinking twice about spending Christmas there this year, and Jay suggested that we just go to his parents or my mom's. We could drive, and they both have lots of room if we wanted to stay for a couple days. The kids are older now and easier to manage on road trips, and I honestly would not mind a change of pace, to be honest with you. I've already asked the kids what they thought about it, and they said that they'd miss their cousins, but they'd be fine if they could have a play date before they go back to school. Which is fine. I can arrange that, and we haven't started any of the Secret Santa or wish list stuff yet, so I could back out without feeling any guilt. I've taken some time to think about it, but I'm torn. I know how much my kids love spending Christmas with their cousins, and I don't want to deprive them of that. But I also don't want them to feel like they're being treated unfairly. I'm sure they talk to each other and know what other kids got, and, well, what they wanted. So I'm gonna ask for any sort of advice, because that would be awesome. Please drop it down below. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So I do have multiple updates for this story, and it's about to get a little wild. If you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy these sort of stories, just know I post every single day, so you might want to click that subscribe button. Thank you for that, and let's just jump into the first update, guys. Update number 1. Okay, I've made a decision. But before that, I want to clear some things up. Yes, my dad and stepmom host Christmas dinner. But all they do is host. I mean, everyone else takes care of the food and drinks. We go to their house ahead of time to spruce up the place, set up the table, put the gifts under the tree. Afterward, we stayed behind to clean up and distribute leftovers. My dad and stepmom barely have to lift a finger beyond setting up their Christmas tree. This was the first time my kids did not get what they asked for, and also the first time my stepmom was in charge of getting the gifts. I don't think that's a coincidence. It was originally going to be one of my cousins who went out to buy the kids the gift, but she ended up spraining her ankle. So Anna volunteered to do it. Before anybody says, oh, well, maybe she didn't have enough money. Guys, we all gave $50 per kid to cover their gifting. It was plenty. I mean, more than enough for what my kids asked for. On top of that, the kids put at least 5 items on their wish list, in case something's sold out or not available in the local store. We do these things in advance, so anything not in the store can just be ordered online and arrive in time for Christmas. She had absolutely no excuse. I gave $100 for my kids, and they got gifts that amounted to about $20, and that's being generous. That's completely unacceptable. It's not even the money I care about, it's my kids' happiness. They both do very well in school, so I have no issue spending on them for Christmas and birthdays. They also never ask for anything really expensive. My oldest always wants to paint and stuff. He's a little creative, and the youngest just wants more dolls. I've bought them stuff like this myself before, so I know $100 could cover it. Now I've decided that we're going to spend our Christmas together. After telling my kids I'd arrange a play date for them and their cousins before they had to go back to school, they were fully on board. The only question now is, do we go to my mom or Jay's parents? My mom's 2 hours away and Jay's parents are 6 hours. I may just let the kids decide since Jay and I don't care either way. I called my dad and already told him I would not be coming over for Christmas so he could keep me out of the Secret Santa and the wish list. He asked why all of a sudden I was deciding to go somewhere else. I told him I just wanted a change of pace for me and the kids this year, so we'd probably be going to my in-laws for Christmas. Wow, he seemed pretty upset, but he let it go, thankfully. I'm not ready to tell him the truth just yet because I don't want to deal with his gaslighting. I also spoke to one of my cousins and told her to inform everyone that I would not be coming this year. She asked why, and you know what? I trusted her. So I told her the truth. I told her that my kids got cheap gifts last year, nothing from their list, and it kind of felt like Anne did that on purpose because she has beef with me. She said she thought it was strange that I called her and asked about the stockings but did not want to push the issue. She said she was sure everyone else got what they wanted because the other kids came over to her place and were showing each other what they got in the stockings. She thanked me for telling her and wished me well. She also said she would not blame me if I stopped going over there altogether. People sliding you is one thing, but sliding your children? Come on, that's another. I completely agree with that. Update number 2. So, Christmas has passed, and I wish I could say it was drama-free, but So we ended up spending Christmas with my mom. It was great. We had a lovely dinner, the kids got gifts and they wanted, and we went out in the afternoon to catch a movie. It was a great time, and I didn't realize how wound up I was during Christmas. I guess being around Anne just does that sort of thing to ya. I talked to my mom about the situation, and she said it wasn't surprising at all, considering the way Anne acted during her and Dad's divorce. She threw a huge fit outside the courthouse because the judge gave my mom the house and the land. They also wanted full custody of me, but the judge made Mom the primary caretaker and agreed that Dad could have me on the weekends. After the situation with Anna hiding the food in the house from me, not letting me watch TV, play outside, asking permission for the bathroom, she threatened to take Dad back to court to get full custody of me if he didn't set Anna straight. That woman likes to be in charge and involved so she can punish the people she thinks deserves it. This put any doubt in my mind to rest that she intentionally targeted my kids to spite me. Anyways, we spent both Christmas and Boxing Day with my mom, so we did not get back in the evening on Boxing Day. I get a voicemail from my dad on the phone saying to call him immediately, but I was so trashed from the car ride that I forgot and just went straight to bed. The next day, I was on the road all day preparing for kids' playdates, so I wasn't really paying attention to my phone. I get back to a million messages from my dad asking why I was ignoring him. So I call him up and he immediately starts yelling at me for turning the family against him. He accused me even of telling everyone not to come over to their place for Christmas, and no one in the family's talking to him or Anna. I asked him what the hell he's talking about. He said one of my cousins called and spoke to Anna and told her that I wasn't coming because she slighted my kids. No, before you guys say my cousin is being messy, I know for a fact Anna did not tell my dad the whole story. That last year, Anna got my kids cheap gifts and not what they wanted, and they didn't want anything expensive or difficult to find, and I paid for it. I was able to order what they wanted the day after Christmas, and I don't know why she did it, but I didn't want my kids feeling slighted during Christmas again, so I spent my holidays elsewhere. I only told my cousin what happened. I never told her not to go over there, he just needed to talk to his wife. He asked me why I did not just come to him if there was, an issue. I told him because every time I did, he would always gaslight me and tell me I was being unreasonable, and I didn't want to deal with that. In his eyes, his wife can do no wrong, so it makes no sense pointing out her behavior to him. I ended the conversation there, and he can think what he wants. My cousin's currently away visiting her in-laws, but she'll be back in time for the playdate. I don't want to drag any of my other cousins into this drama, so I'll wait for her to get back. I should have another update soon enough. Thank you. Update number 3. Okay, I now have full context of the drama. Here's what happened. In order, after I had my call with my cousin, she called Anna to confront her about what happened. She asked directly if Anna had gotten my kids cheaper gifts on purpose or if there was some kind of mix-up. She also reminded Anna that she had no excuse because we gave her physical and digital versions of the list along with a wish list on Amazon that had all the kids' preferred gifting on just to make it more convenient for the person buying. Well, Anna went full mask off and said my kids are rotten and she got them those gifts because that's what they deserved. Cousin cursed her out and told her that she had no right to decide what anyone's kids did or did not deserve, and that if she wanted someone to punish, she should have had her own kids. Anyways, this cousin then proceeds to tell all the other cousins in the group what happened, and they all just collectively came together and decided they aren't doing Christmas at my dad and Ann's place anymore. They instead had dinner at Jason's place. He's our oldest cousin, and he and his wife live pretty centrally, so it made sense. This will be the new venue going forward, and Anna will no longer be involved because if she could do it for my kids, she could do it for any of the children. So my dad gets mad at me because my cousins were calling him left and right saying that they weren't coming over for dinner, even though none of them cited me as the reasoning. He just assumed it anyways. I called him back and told him the whole story of why no one wanted to be around his good-for-nothing wife. He said he talked to Anna, and that's not what happened. Guys, here's the kicker. My cousin recorded the phone call. So I literally played the recording to him. I've never lied to him about anything concerning this woman, but maybe now, just maybe, he'll finally believe me. Before he hung up, he told me he'd talk to her about it. Other than that, my cousin apologized to me. She said if she knew my dad or his wife would try to blame me for what happened, she would have, got ahead of them to make sure it didn't happen. But you know what? I honestly don't care. I'm super glad everyone else is seeing her for who she truly is, my dad included. Final update. Well, guys, I do have a breaking development. It seems my dad has been cheating on my stepmom. Yeah, who could have possibly guessed that was going to happen? Not little old me. I thought there was absolutely no way a known cheater would cheat again. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. So here's what happened according to one of my dad's sisters, who then told one of my cousins. After I played the call from my dad, he went and confronted Anna about what she did. They had a bit of a fight over it and he left. While he was gone, she was constantly trying to call him until she realized he's left his phone at home. Well. She went through it, found evidence of infidelity, and he did not come back until the next day, and they had another fight. Now, you may be thinking they're definitely getting divorced, right? Wrong! Anna's name is not on the house. Yeah, my dad learned from his previous marriage and put the house solely in his name. She also doesn't work and is completely financially dependent on dad, which is to say she's absolutely got nowhere to go. So last I heard, they're going to couples therapy or something. Anna may as well content herself with the fact that my dad is just going to be stepping out on her constantly. That's not where this update ends, though. Anna threatened to sue my cousin for recording their phone call and using it to ruin her reputation. First of all, you're a housewife who married a cheater. Secondly, our state has one-way laws, so one person can record one side of a conversation and it's perfectly fine. So, my cousin told her to go ahead and sue. I'm not sure where she's going to find the money for a lawyer when she had, dad are fighting each other, but whatever. Anyways, there is what we have. I doubt anything more will come out of this. The kids played 8, it went splendid, and we're looking forward to more Christmas dinners with better host. Top comments from the endings. Comment number 1. See, this is why I always tell people taking someone's husband or wife is not a flex. Yeah, good job, bro, you bagged a cheater. Congratulations, now they're going to cheat on you again. Honestly, what did she expect? Those type of men are never satisfied with one woman or one relationship. OP, you'd better check to see if you have some brothers and sisters out there that you don't even know about. Heck, your dad may have a whole other family in another state for all you know. I'm glad Anna got a taste of what it's like to be cheated on. She has no right to be mad because she literally, gleefully participated in your dad's infidelity. She probably even saw this coming herself, which is why she was constantly attached to the hip of your dad, answering his phone and whatnot. Yeah, what your cousin did was a little bit of a mess, but I'm glad she did not let Anna get away with slighting your children. It's nice to see family members standing in solidarity. Comment number 2. No. Your cousin is messy as hell. I understand wanting to protect the kids, but she just set you up and got you chewed out by your dad. And recording the call too, it sounds like she's thirsty for drama. Also, why do you sound so happy about your dad cheating? I feel like you should be way madder at him. I mean, come on. He's the one who failed to protect you and your kids, and constantly gaslit you, but all you hate is the concentration of his wife. And even when the one-way laws are in place, recording the conversation she had with your cousin was just a crappy thing to do. I don't know. It sounds like all of you just want to ruin her life.
First of all, I want to do a huge shout out to OP's cousin, who basically stood up to Anna, the bully of the story. And I don't think if the cousin would have told the whole family what happened, I don't think this problem would have been resolved. I do want to know your thoughts about it, and do you think that OP should have handled it differently or maybe had a different form of conflict? I want to know what you would have done. So guys, go ahead and drop your thoughts, your comments, your related experience downstairs in our comment section, and I do want to thank you for joining me on today's video. If you guys want daily drama stories, inheritance drama, family-in-law disputes, mother-in-law, some of my favorite ones, and of course HOA disputes, which are always insane, make sure that you subscribe for daily videos. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and please remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.